Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Wednesday. This is Seattle Now. The Sounders are back at Lumen Field tonight with a shot at winning the CONCACAF final if they can beat the Pumas of Liga MX. More than 60,000 fans will be there to cheer them on. In a minute, ESPN soccer analyst Herculez Gomez tells us what's at stake. But first, let's get you caught up.
We are going to fight like hell to keep Washington a pro-choice state.
That's Governor Inslee speaking yesterday at a rally at Cary Park shortly after Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts confirmed the authenticity of a leaked draft opinion that indicated the court would overturn Roe. Inslee promised to protect and support anyone coming from another state to get an abortion in Washington and would explore enshrining reproductive rights in the state constitution. Late yesterday, Senator Patty Murray told PBS NewsHour that the Senate will hold a vote to pass Roe into federal law next week. King County's next sheriff won't need much time to get acquainted. County Executive Dow Constantine selected interim sheriff Patty Cole Tyndall for the job yesterday. She's a familiar face with 6 years at the department. Cole Tyndall told King 5 it's a privilege to lead the sheriff's office. Her appointment is expected to gain the approval of the county council, which will start hearings by mid-month. And some good news for endangered resident orcas. They welcomed a new calf. Seattle Times reports that a fisherman spotted K-Pod traveling with a new member off the Oregon coast April 28th. It's the first calf born to K-Pod in 11 years.
Decisive. Nico Ladero.
He's off to one side.
Talavera. Gamesmanship. Goal! 2-all! The Sounders have come all the way back. Keep your shirt on, Nico. Don't get a yellow card for that.
That's the crowd at the first leg of last week's CONCACAF Champions League final in Mexico City. The Sounders scored a couple of penalty shots against the Pumas of Liga MX late in the game to close in a 2-2 draw. This is the first time the Seattle club has made it to the finals in this league, which is the Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean football. Tonight, the teams will meet on the turf at Lumen Field for the second leg of the final. Herculez Gomez is a soccer analyst for ESPN. He's here to talk about what to watch for in the final and what it means for a U.S. team to advance in this league. Herculez, good to talk to you, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
So this is really big. Seattle is excited. Let's start with how the first leg of the finals went last week. Tell us how things went down in Mexico City.
So first off, this Club World Cup is a huge deal for Major League Soccer because they've never won it. It's an opportunity to go to the Club World Cup, which in this current format, this CONCACAF Champions League, no Major League Soccer team has ever won it. I think they'll be the fifth team to play in a final. Many times a Major League Soccer team has been in this exact position versus a Mexican club in Mexico, where there is dodgy refereeing, and albeit both sides. For Pumas, it was dodgy, and for the Seattle Sounders, it was dodgy. But they've been on the short end of the stick, and they don't mentally overcome the obstacles. It's the first one goes in, the second one goes in, and it's lights out, game over, and probably gets steamrolled by multiple goals. Well, the Seattle Sounders didn't lay down and die. They didn't just roll with those punches like in the past. They actually came fighting back in very Sounder style, generated a bit of luck of their own, and came back with a very, very valuable 2-2 draw.
And it was Sounders midfielder Nicolas Ladero who pulled off those two penalty shots to tie up the game. The Pumas probably thought they had it in the bag at that point.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this is for the first time in probably this rivalry, that's what it is. It's a massive rivalry, the U.S. versus Mexico, Major League Soccer versus Liga MX, and Major League Soccer has Canadian teams in it. But any way you slice it up, when a Mexican team faces Major League Soccer, they equate it to U.S. versus Mexico. It's for the longest time, they were on the high end of the spectrum when it came to the power. And what I mean by power is financial, talent, ambiance, etc., stadium, whatever you want, they were on that end of the spectrum. And with this matchup, ironically, Pumas is on the lower end of the payroll of the financial, stability in Liga MX. And they're a team that very much so in this matchup isn't the favorite. Isn't the favorite on paper. They're not the richer team. They don't have the better star power on paper, if you will. And I keep mentioning it on paper because Andres Lilini, the head coach at Pumas, he kind of has like a team of misfits, a bad news bears. Like they're players, Brazilian players that came from the Brazilian 3rd and 4th division, players from Argentina that were never like big players, 2nd division Mexican players that all of a sudden got an opportunity with him. And like collectively, they punch above their weight. Collectively, they love the underdog role. Collectively, they win big games. So for the first time in this series matchup, Major League Soccer Liga MX, you're seeing a shift. And the favorite in this game or in this series are the Seattle Sounders. So that's a very different thing. So when that second goal went in for Nicolás Lodeiro, it was like a gut-wrenching feeling for Pumas because it was like, we had them. This was our chance at home. We had them, and now this happened.
Yeah, well, Seattle is ready, and we're looking at an exciting match tonight. More than 60,000 tickets have been sold at Lumen Field. What does this mean for U.S. soccer that the Sounders have gone this far, are still in the tournament?
Not that they're just in this tournament, but that they have a realistic, and I would say they're the favorites to win it. It's a Club World Cup. I've been to a Club World Cup. The most elite club teams in the world that win their confederation get to go. It's very much a notch in your belt for Major League Soccer. It's very much a cherry on the cake. It's very much a bragging rights sort of thing. But more than anything, it's I guess, lifting of the curse. How long has it been that Major League Soccer has not been relevant as far as a club team in this competition, winning it in this competition? You come close many times. We just saw not too long ago Tigres playing the final of the Club World Cup, Tigres of Liga MX against Bayern Munich. Now, the only way to get to that type of game is by winning this tournament, and this would be affirmation of everything that Major League Soccer has done well in the past, everything that, and I repeat, it's great for Major League Soccer, but the Seattle Sounders deserve this. We talk about, teams that could represent Major League Soccer in the United States. The Seattle Sounders are by far, for me, the bar of Major League Soccer. Over the last decade, they're easily the best team. The way they continually exhibit that winning culture and that mentality, they're the bar. So this would be, for the Seattle Sounders, I think, just affirmation of everything they've done well.
Yeah, and the fans certainly love them here. They have such a strong presence here in the city with their fan base. What are you watching for in the game tonight?
How Seattle deals with the pressure of being the favorite, I think, would be an important one. They're a very good home team in the CONCACAF Champions League. Very good home team. They've routed teams at home. And I do expect Seattle to continue with that confidence. But the way they play against a team in Pumas who does so well playing the underdog role, continually punch above their weight, a team that's literally has nothing to lose, yet everything to lose. And what I mean by nothing to lose is, on paper, you see these two teams and you can't really expect too much out of Pumas the way they're being stretched in multiple competitions. But they could become again the Liga MX team that loses to a foreign team in this competition in the final, because the first and only time in this modern history of this tournament that Liga MX has lost this was to Saprissa, and it was Pumas back in 2005. So they could be double losers again. So that'd be like another black eye on their, resume, if you will, a stain in that resume. But it's going to be a great final. It's going to be back and forth. That's the way both teams play. And so I'm excited for what can come. But more than anything, I'm looking for a back and forth game from both.
Nice. Herculez, what does a win mean for the team tonight?
Well, a lot of things. They'll be the first Major League Soccer team in modern history to represent Major League Soccer in a Club World Cup, and to showcase Seattle. 60,000 plus tonight in a club game could potentially open eyes of FIFA and CONCACAF execs of what Seattle could mean in an actual World Cup when 2026 rolls around, which is right around the corner. So it's very cool for the city of Seattle, which I played for the Sounders. I lived in Seattle. It's an amazing city. Culture I keep bringing up. They understand the game. They understand their team. And to showcase that city in all of its splendor would be something magnificent and probably open a lot of eyes to maybe get in the game there.
Well, it is really exciting for the city to have an event like this, and even better if the Sounders come away with the win. Herculez Gomez, soccer analyst with ESPN, really appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks, Patricia. Thanks for having me.
And be sure to plan ahead if you're headed out. There is going to be some serious traffic with 60,000 people at Lumen. Game begins at 7. Thanks for listening. That clip at the top of the show was from Fox Sports. Jenny Cecil Moore produced today's show. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.